You are live with us. If you want to stream in, live stream, you can get us on www.salammedia.com because that's where you're at Salam Media. And in Limpopo, le ka Tieleja One Nation FM 88.9, Rayana. From where we took off, we were talking to Rayana Edwards. And today we're talking empowerment and revival, and how empowering has that been? My goodness, alhamdulillah. From what we were talking about, there are two words that come to my mind. I know they'll seem like it's a one-year-old speaking, but what comes to mind when you talk about empowerment, the question is, so what? For me, that's what I think. So what? Yes, you are feeding people, you're going to the local area and you're doing this and you're doing that, but so what? So what, not in a negative way, but once you leave, as Sister Rayana has said, once you leave, what skill and what impact would you have had on those people? And have you empowered those people enough for you to be able to actually slowly move out such that those people can actually take over the baton and this thing is sustainable? So empowerment equals sustainable development. Everything that we try and do, we've got charity in our religion and any other religion, but that charity shouldn't just be a tick, but it should be sustainable and it should empower other people. Sister Rayana, welcome back. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
We would like to touch, please, on you. You inspire us so much. You know, a person who speaks that much and with such depth and passion, most of the time they must have put their hand in a jar that's full of inspiration themselves, and it feels that, yes, you know, the inspiration jar. We would like to hear from you what inspired you to actually never give up and always want to be involved in such programs, empowerment programs.
Well, I think, first of all, thank you very much. I feel honored to have you today. But I think most importantly, you can speak most, teach best what you've experienced. And so, yes, it does come from a very deep place. I was brought up in Cape Town, grew up, I never lived with my parents for the first 10 years of my life. I lived with my, the sister to my grandmother and my grandmother, and they lived about 15 minutes away from each other, so I kind of lived between the two homes. And both of them were factory workers in the very booming clothing and textile industry at the time. They were workers at a factory called Rex Reform. And so I grew up listening and going to bed at night with the sewing machine, always that noise of the sewing machine. So not only did they have to do extra work after their working hours to sustain their lifestyle, but also they were entrepreneurs. I remember my granny's sister, who I lived with most of the time, she was selling, you know, the cashew nuts, all the luxury items, all these chocolate sweets. She used to call the chocolate coated peanuts, Pam peanuts. She used to repackage it into small little packets and sit there with a scale till midnight every single night and weigh it into 100 grams. So I was exposed to that. It's like this most amazing delicacies, and she'd go and sell that on the factory floor. And then Friday night she would come home and I would sit and count the money with her. I was 7, 8 years old at the time, and I'm like, I love the money counting part. But most importantly, with my granny, when she passed away, it was about 6 years ago, I flew down and went to keep watch over her at Grootskie Hospital. And I remember 3 o'clock in the morning sitting there and reciting, and by the time she passed, it was like she had this conversation with me, and her conversation went along the lines of, a whole community has suffered because the one industry that kept them alive, whereby they were able to put their students through university and educate them, has gone. We all know what happened to District 6. And her appeal to me was, do something about it. You know, it's in your hands. You are in the clothing industry. I know you travel the world and you're selling this high quality clothing from all these expensive destinations. But what about these women that have lost their jobs? and they have the best skill. I mean, if ever you knew Rex Reform, the tailoring of a suit, oh my word, it was next level, you know. We lost that. How are we going to revive it? Is it too late? Because we've sold ourselves to China and all these cheap products coming from other countries. And that is what led me to reviving sustainable fashion. It looks a bit different because we still lack skill, we lack workmanship. But it's my little contribution, and inshallah, collectively, I think we can grow this and reach the heights where we can become a sustainable industry again. Yeah, so that was my inspiration, my grandparents.
I can feel her amongst us, you know, those words. There's so much that we can take from our elders, and we take for granted. I think as us as the youth take so much for granted. You know, old people travel. Well, I was just sitting and thinking about my grandmother. She is such a nightmare. But you speaking about your grandmother, I felt kind of bad because I was like, I haven't seen her for a while, and I know going there, she's got so much to say, and there's so much that I can take from her, and she is an inspiration to me as well. But
patience, Aisha. Be patient, be tolerant, be tolerant.
Yeah, we all get in there. We are all getting there, and we'll be treated. It depends what you put in sometimes.
You know, sometimes I know that feeling because I mean we all experience it. But I just say to myself, you know, to your self-talk, you know what? Go there and visit like you're never going to see her again.
Yeah. Because there's nothing as regret as should she pass, but
and just be present with her.
But in sustainability, you know, I feel as the youth today or the entrepreneurs today, we're all about money making and not anything sustainable. We just want quick results.
Quick fixes.
And quick fixes. And in the clothing industry, China is done us so bad. There is so much fake. I love works fabric, you know, I've loved Tanzanian fabric, I've loved Congolese, DRC, Nigerian. But then people just go for the cheapest. It doesn't matter how affordable you are, but then there's those loyal people that know quality when they see it.
But you see, that's the education. You know, I understand your words around that. That's the education, is we need to appreciate what's coming from our communities. We need to understand the time that they took into making that garment, the creativity, the skill, and most importantly, the resource to make those fabrics. Okay, it's not mass produced. So I feel that that's, you know, if you have to ask me what's my vision, it's about capturing all of that in one space. But it's I can't do it alone. I need people like yourselves. I need like-minded people to come on board and say, you know what, I have a group in Polokwane and we're a group of leaders. How can we collaborate with you?
Collaborations.
That's the word.
That's the word.
But you know, another thing that comes to mind now as you talk about that is that I think we tend to forget how much we've got within us sometimes. We always measure ourselves with money. When we say you want to make a certain impact in a community, we're always thinking money. Like, I don't have money. I'd like to do an extracurricular, whatever, but I don't have money. I would like to help that child with shoes for school, but I don't have money. So we've become so defined by money that we forgot our value, and we forgot that, you know, Allah created you. You've been favored to be on this dunya. And there's something that you can give. There is definitely something you can give, whether it's a smile or it's just you're shaking a hand of the next person. It doesn't matter the magnitude, but there is something that you can offer the next person. And I think that the day that we can sit and realize that, that's when we'll flow towards a similar, if not the same direction. And you spoke again, Sister Rayana, about actually working with the people who are in the communities. You know, most of the time we've seen in history projects being imposed on people, and as Aisha was saying, that people come and they think, what is the problem with you guys? They think you need food, or whoever, and it comes from a good place. You know, you don't blame that person, but the question is, how do people keep that alive if it's not what they need, and how do they make it their own? Because the most important thing is you want people to actually feel like it's their own, such that you can actually exit and impact the next people, you know, impact whoever else that you need to. So I think, inshallah, don't give up, because Allah says He won't change a condition of a people until they intend to change it or they change it themselves. And I feel that we are almost in most corners that I hear, we hear people who are like-minded. So don't give up.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for that. I think, you know, it's about tapping into that kind of consciousness to connect, and then to practice the continuity. So think of it as the 3 C's. Consciousness, connectivity, and continuity.
Alhamdulillah.
Can you repeat that, please, for our listeners?
It's consciousness, connectivity, and to create creativity, ongoingness, so continuity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. You know, when you're having such a great conversation and time is just not on your side, the time is 11:17 and we're still on what Sari for Change. I remember just touch a bit on Sari for Change has done the runway.
Yes, that's right. Oh, that was the highlight of,
Wow.
of our little project.
So much so.
Well, so I went to Sweden about 2 years ago. I was invited out to do a talk on the project, and I met a very beautiful sister, and she was so overwhelmed with what I had to share on the project, and she came up to me and said, everything that you've been speaking about is what I've been thinking about. And it was a match immediately. Fast forward 2 years later, she gets selected to showcase the range that we produced at the Torino Fashion Week in Italy. Islamic Fashion Design Council invited her because her market niche is looking at dressing Muslimas, and her design label is called Sacred. You can find on Instagram. So what is beautiful is that all those designs are manufactured by us in South Africa.
Subhanallah.
So we've taken to the catwalk in Italy, sold in Sweden. So you're right, Aisha.
And again, it's the word collaboration,
Absolutely.
networking,
And having the same vision. It's so important, that in any organization, from the person who sweeps the floor and coming to that, last year's success at Sari for Change, I can tell you, we had a lady by the name of Mercy would come into the factory. She was a cleaner. She ended off the year producing her own garments and running her own market in Santon at Field and Recreation Center. So, you know, cultivating possibilities. We're not putting money in front of us. That's another topic. I can tell you the journey of that, not having money. We had to learn the hard way. We only see possibilities. And so, yes, we're busy with a new collection right now for Sacred, for Sweden, and it's going to be so exciting. Yeah.
We can't wait to tap into that, because ourselves, you know, with Nyota is about, you know, clothing modestly and actually making people to start asking, this hijab is not bad after all. You know, I've heard a lot of that. Like,
Exactly.
Honestly, you know, when I used to work at the office, and I think at that time I had gotten into that zone of saying, you know what, I'm so tired of black, honestly. And abayas, isn't there any other way? You know, there are certain rules to hijab. So can I adhere to these rules, but also bring me into it, and also bring some people should ask themselves. That should be a form of dawah. You know, again, it's intention.
I always ask, why is all this color being created?
Yes, no, true. True. Why can we use it?
Exactly.
You know, and that's exactly what actually triggers the mind when somebody sees, because we've heard those questions before. Sorry, Mama Lefo, why are you wearing orange today? Or why are you? No, honestly, aren't you guys supposed to be wearing black?
You know, on an esoteric level, I don't know if I can just share this with you. We've got our chakras, where we receive energy and we give off energy, and we talk about our aura. You know, what color are you? You know, so right now, as you're sitting here, you appear as pink to me, you appear as green to me, you know, like there's a color that we give off, but that's on a subtle level anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much.
I'm gonna come to wrap up now, and previously in the interview you spoke about your incubator project. Can you just close with that, and you touch up on your next incubation project and what you're looking for, and how can our listeners get hold of you?
Okay, sure. Incubation program takes place over 4 months. We hoping, inshallah, to start in March, okay? And it covers 4 modules. The first one being, we spoke about this earlier, all about you and your mindset, okay? And the mindset needed to be an entrepreneur, because we also need to know not everybody are going to make it as entrepreneurs. So it's about working on the mindset of an entrepreneur. The second module is production, you know, the actual learning how to make a pattern. You must have some experience of how to stitch on a machine anyway, okay, even if it's a domestic machine. That is one of the criteria for the incubation, because we don't teach you from scratch how to stitch, but we will enhance that skill. And then, of course, to completion of a garment that is of quality to be sold in a boutique. All right, that was the second module. The third module is the business aspect of it, where we teach you about all the components that goes into a business, outcome being that you should be able to devise your own business plan by the end of that module. And then the fourth module is the practice. So you get to go out and then start looking at whether you are going to launch your own label. What does that look like? We give you stints at the markets that we partake in. We get you to design and really work on your own brand and how your business, what it will look like. And we send you to various spaces within our network where you can go and job shadow and really be mentored in the field and space that you want to be within the industry, because not everybody wants to be a designer, because a lot of the applicants, of course, are designers, but then if you're a seamer and you want to work with a designer, we can link you. If you a beader and you know you only want to do beading, how do we link you within I have a strong entrepreneurial network within the industry that we often use as well. And that's the incubation.
And how long is it, if I may ask? It starts in March, but how long is the...
4 months.
It's 4 months. Yeah. And if people want to apply for it or are interested, where can they reach?
Right now I'm taking email applications, or they can WhatsApp me and we will get back to them. Alternatively, if it's easier, they can also access our Facebook page, which is Sari for Change.
Okay.
And my email address is Rayana Edwards, RAYANA Edwards @gmail.com.
Okay, so it's Sari for Change on Facebook and Rayana Edwards at gmail.com.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Sister Rayana. We have, this is literally a common space. Minds have met.
Those untold stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Jazakallah so much for being with us on the show, and we hope in the next future we'll be able to have you on interview again. Assalamu alaikum, and the time is 11:24. We're going to go in for a short break, and we'll see after the break. The lineup after the break, we're going to have an NPO Lifeline Pretoria sharing us on personal growth.